Then I go to my show and the guy in the front row is holding a sign that says, "Today I celebrate 584 days sober."
No way.
You see me tearing up.
Yeah.
What would you do if your darkest days were just the start of your story? Jelly Roll, once a teen behind bars, now commands stages with a voice that shakes souls. But when a hidden battle threatened to unravel his hard-won life with Bunny XO, everything changed. This isn't just a tale of music and fame, it's a raw, unfiltered fight for redemption that will leave you questioning what it takes to rise again. Step into their world, where every note carries a truth waiting to be uncovered. Jelly Roll, born Jason DeFord, has lived 1,000 lives, each one raw, real, and relentless. From the shadows of Nashville's toughest streets to the spotlight of sold-out arenas, his journey is a testament to redemption. But something shifted recently. A private struggle that's left fans wondering what could shake a man who's already conquered so much. This is the story of Jelly Roll, and it's only just beginning. In Antioch, Nashville, young Jason grew up where chaos was king. His father ran bets and slung meat, while his mother wrestled with addiction and mental health struggles. "That's just what you did," he later shared with CBS News, his voice heavy with the weight of those years. Crime and drugs weren't just around him, they were home. Yet, even as a kid, he found an escape in music. Southern rap giants like 36 Mafia and UGK lit a spark, and soon he was hustling mixtapes from his car, dreaming of a stage far bigger than the streets. Those dreams came with a cost. By 14, he was behind bars, the first of dozens of arrests that would mark his teens. Drug possession, shoplifting, and a grave mistake at 16, an aggravated robbery charge involving a firearm, landed him an 8-year sentence, though he served just over a year. Reflecting to Billboard, he called it a heinous choice, grateful no one was hurt. That felony branded him, locking him out of voting and opportunities in Tennessee. But what happened next would redefine everything. In 2008, fresh out of jail, he got life-changing news. He was a father to a daughter, Bailey Ann. Meeting her at 2 years old flipped a switch. Alongside his wife, Bunny XO, he's raised Bailey and their son Noah, anchoring his chaotic world with family. But could fatherhood alone pull him from the edge? The answer lies in the music that never let him go. Jelly Roll's early days were all hip-hop, spitting rhymes with artists like Struggle Jennings and Tech N9 Nay. His mixtapes, like the Plain Schmear Tape, gained a cult following, and his 2010 track Pop Another Pill with Lil White racked up over 6 million YouTube views. A quirky legal tussle forced him to rename one mixtape from Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House to Whiskey, Weed, and Women after the restaurant chain pushed back. In 2023, another legal hiccup, a trademark dispute with a wedding band named Jelly Roll, was settled quietly, proving his knack for navigating storms. Then came the pivot. Trading rap for country and rock, he stepped onto the Grand Ole Opry stage in 2021, a moment that felt like destiny. His 2022 single, Dead Man Walking, ruled rock radio, and Son of a Sinner became his first country chart topper in 2023, landing on Billboard's Hot Rock and Alternative chart. He sold out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena to 15,000 fans, joined by stars like Chris Young. His 2023 Backroad Baptism Tour hit 44 cities, and he clinched 3 CMT Music Awards, including Male Video of the Year. The momentum didn't stop. In 2024, he lit up Saturday Night Live, belting tracks from his upcoming album and a Johnny Cash medley with The Roots and Snoop Dogg. He teamed up with Eminem for Somebody Save Me and dropped Run It for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack. In 2025, his duet with Brandon Lake, Hard Fought Hallelujah, snagged K-Love's Song of the Year, and he joined Shabuzi for Amen at the ACM Awards, earning nods for Entertainer of the Year. He even stepped into acting, appearing in Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. But what's fueling this relentless drive? Family has been his rock. Married to Alyssa DeFord, known as Bunny XO, since 2016, they renewed their vows in 2023, a testament to their bond. When his daughter Bailey at 14 chose baptism, Jelly Roll was skeptical. Yet that church service stirred something deep. "I saw sincerity, compassion, forgiveness," he said, his faith reignited in his own unpolished way. He's not your typical believer, but his heart's in it. Could this spiritual shift be the key to his strength? He's also giving back. In 2022, he donated over $200,000 to a juvenile center where he once sat, building a music studio for young offenders. In 2024, he stood before the U.S. Senate, advocating for anti-fentanyl laws. "I was part of the problem," he declared per Rolling Stone. "Now I want to be part of the solution." His past fuels his mission, but his battles aren't over. Addiction once ruled him. Alcohol fueled cocaine binges, a cycle he broke by relearning how to live without hard drugs. Now 39, he uses weed to manage anxiety, a choice that sparks debate but keeps him steady. His physical transformation is just as striking. Starting at 540 pounds, he shed nearly 200 pounds by 2025, hitting 357 pounds, as shared with Today. "You fight obesity at the dinner table," he said, his discipline inspiring fans. Picking up where we left off, Jelly Roll's climb from a tangled past to a life of meaning was never a straight line. The echoes of Part 1 still hum: addiction's grip, a daughter's birth, a soul reshaped in confinement. But now the stakes climb higher. Fresh challenges rise like storm clouds, threatening to unravel the fragile piece he's stitched together. This chapter unveils a man wrestling not just with yesterday's ghosts, but with today's unrelenting trials. Sobriety's unorthodox dance, faith under siege, a name on the line, and dreams snagged by red tape. What happens when the world you've built starts to tremble? Let's step into the fray. Jelly Roll's sobriety isn't the kind you'd find in a manual. No sterile rehab walls or rigid checklists, just a raw, jagged path he hacked out himself. Marijuana became his unlikely tether, a choice he credits with keeping him from spiraling back to pills and powder. "It held me steady when the old cravings clawed," he revealed in a candid chat with Taste of Country. Tongues wagged, but for him it was survival, a lifeline to show up for his kids, especially Bailey, the spark that rewired his heart. Behind bars, faith struck like lightning, turning a hardened Saul into a seeking Paul. Now clutching a CMA award and a mission against fentanyl's scourge, he's flipping his wreckage into repair. "I fueled this mess once," he told the Senate, voice thick with accountability. "I'm here to help douse it." But can a man rewrite his story when the ink's still wet? Then came the whispers, sharp, wild, and cutting deep. In 2023, after pouring his soul into Ozzy Osbourne's "Mama, I'm Coming Home" at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the internet erupted. His ink, his vibe, the moody stage glow, somehow it all screamed Satanist to the faceless crowd online. The rumors swelled into a roar, gnawing at a man whose faith is his bedrock. "It dragged me into shadows I don't belong in," he admitted, rattled yet resolute. The venom online grew so thick he ditched social media, confessing on the Pat McAfee show, "Y'all are brutal. I'm out." When he crept back, he saw the chaos for what it was, a free-for-all where kindness gets no echo. Still, he stood tall. "The name I speak scatters darkness," he fired back, unshaken. "No conspiracy owns me." The storm passed, but left a scar and a question. How do you rise when the world's determined to pull you down? Another fight brewed, this time in a courtroom's cold light. By April 2024, a Pennsylvania wedding band hauled Jelly Roll into a legal mess, claiming his fame muddied their gig bookings. It was a scrappy underdog tale flipped upside down, the little guy squaring off against a name he'd carried through years of grit. Jason DeFord had been Jelly Roll long before the charts knew him, but now that legacy hung in the balance. The band argued confusion cost them jobs. He saw it as a grab at his soul's work. The entertainment game's brutal truth glared back. Success can paint a target on what you hold dear. As the case drags on, Jelly Roll faces a gut punch. Sometimes the present fight's dirtier than the past ever did. Will his name stay his or slip through his fingers? Beyond the courtroom, a bigger dream flickered, taking his redemption global. International stages called, but his rap sheet from decades past barred the way. "It's a maze of lawyers and forms just to step on foreign soil," he sighed, the weariness seeping through. Tennessee's parole board saw his metamorphosis and pushed for a pardon from Governor Bill Lee in 2024, a glimmer of freedom. "This means everything," Jelly Roll said after the hearing, hope flickering despite the wait. Sheriff Darren Hall and others testified to his turnaround, though one board member hesitated. Lee, measured as ever, kept the door ajar. More steps remain. For Jelly Roll, it's not just about gigs. It's about planting seeds of change worldwide. "I want to reach the lost where I once stood," he said. But with the governor's pen still poised, his wings stay clipped, for now. Yet amid the chaos, the stage offered sanctuary. At the 2024 CMA Festival, Jelly Roll faced a pulsing crowd, his past spilling out in trembling words. Addiction, jail, the climb up, he laid it bare, tears streaking as he spoke. "I've traveled so far," he rasped, dedicating Son of a Sinner to anyone teetering on life's edge. "Keep going, no matter the stumbles," he urged, voice breaking. The stadium roared back, not just for the song, but for the man bearing his mended cracks. It was electric, raw, a moment where music turned to medicine. As the cheers swelled, you could feel it. This wasn't just a show, it was a lifeline. How far can one voice carry when it's fueled by scars? His words echoed through the Senate halls, a voice once confined to Nashville's shadows now piercing the chambers of power. Jelly Roll laid bare the havoc fentanyl wreaks, a synthetic menace claiming countless lives, a reality he knows too well from his own tangled past. He stood there, not as a polished politician, but as a man who'd clawed his way out of addiction and incarceration, determined to shield others from the same abyss. That resolve didn't fade with the gavel's fall. Back home, he poured his heart into a music studio at the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Center, the very place that once caged him. It's more than a gift. It's a beacon for kids staring down dark paths, a chance to strum a chord and rewrite their fates. He's not just preaching hope, he's handing it over note by note, proving that a single melody can drown out despair. The change doesn't stop at others. It's carved into his own frame. Since the winter of 2022, Jelly Roll has waged a relentless campaign against his own body, shedding nearly 200 pounds, his scale tipping from 540 to 357. He's chasing 250, not for vanity but for a vow, to leap from a plane with Bunny XO by his side, soaring over Sweden's skies. Every dawn he pounds out miles, 2, sometimes 3, 4 to 6 days a week, then steams in the sauna and plunges into icy waters. Nutrition coach Ian Larios reshaped his plate, trading grease for protein with creations like a Waffle House-inspired bowl or a dairy-free poutine that satisfy without sabotage. Yet the real fight brews beneath the surface, where he wrestles the ghost of food addiction, a beast he equates to any drug. Sharing this struggle isn't just catharsis, it's a lifeline cast to anyone drowning in the same silent war. Beside him stands Bunny XO, a woman who defies the label of mere wife to a country star. She's Bunny DeFord, a dynamo whose dumb blonde podcast crackles with unvarnished truth, drawing listeners into a world where stories bleed authenticity. Her own tale is no fairy tale. Forged in a gritty youth, she danced through shadows as an exotic performer, turning hardship into a crown she wears with pride. Now, she's a beacon for the dismissed, her microphone amplifying voices long silenced by judgment. She and Jelly Roll, wed since 2016, are a love story stitched from resilience, raising his daughter Bailey Ann together while weathering life's tempests. He credits her with his rebirth, their bond a quiet fire glowing through every shared glance and whispered word. Then came August 2024, when dread knocked hard. Bunny's persistent headaches drove her to an MRI, unveiling a terror no one saw coming, a suspected aneurysm on her carotid artery. The diagnosis hit like a thunderclap, her mother's near-fatal brush with the same fate flashing before her eyes. For 3 endless days she spiraled, nights without rest, sweat-soaked sheets, and a gut twisted by panic. "It was my darkest fear come alive," she'd later confess, her voice raw from tears that strained her very muscles. But a second scan rewrote the script. A neurosurgeon declared it a harmless vessel, a cruel mirage. The weight lifted, yet the echo lingered, pulling their family tighter and etching gratitude into their every breath. Life, she realized, hangs on a thread thinner than she'd ever imagined. Their world now shines with triumph earned through grit. Jelly Roll's fortune sits at $6 million, per celebrity net worth, a kingdom of luxury built from a Brentwood mansion worth $2 million and a Nashville home snapped up for $1.3 million. His garage roars with a custom Ford F-150 and a vintage Chevrolet Camaro, while a Rolex Daytona gleams on his wrist, a nod to time conquered. No private jet yet, but his clothing line, Beautifully Broken, launched in 2024 and vanished from shelves in hours, per Billboard. Brand deals with the likes of SiriusXM amplify his reach, and health insurance now guards his hard-won vitality. The lesson? Success isn't luck. It's discipline forged in chaos, a truth he lives as fiercely as he sings. Together they've turned scars into stars, a duo who didn't just endure but rose above. From juvenile cells to sold-out stages, from shadowed past to a spotlight shared, Jelly Roll and Bunny XO proved that redemption isn't a gift, it's a fight. As their journey unfolds, one question lingers. What heights will they climb when the world's still watching? As we close the curtain on Jelly Roll's saga, it's hard not to feel the weight of his journey. A tapestry woven from raw pain, relentless grit, and a heart that refuses to quit. From the shadowed streets of Antioch, where addiction and crime once held him captive, to the blazing stages of sold-out arenas, Jason DeFord has carved a path that's as inspiring as it is improbable. Alongside Bunny XO, his unyielding partner, he's transformed scars into anthems, turning personal battles into a beacon for others. Their story isn't just about surviving, it's about rewriting what survival means, proving that redemption is a fight worth winning. His music, pulsing with honesty, echoes the struggles of those still searching for light, while his advocacy, whether in juvenile centers or Senate halls, plants seeds of change. Bunny's own courage, facing a health scare that shook their world, reminds us how fragile life can be and how fiercely love can anchor us. Together, they've shown that the past doesn't define you, it fuels you. This journey hits close to home because it's not just about a country star or a podcast queen. It's about second chances, the kind we all crave in some corner of our lives. Jelly Roll's nearly 200-pound weight loss, his bold stand against fentanyl, and Bunny's raw vulnerability on her Dumb Blonde podcast aren't just headlines. They're proof that transformation is messy but possible. Recent whispers of a 2025 tour with Post Malone, reported by Taste of Country, and his ACM Awards nod for Entertainer of the Year signal he's far from done. Bunny's growing influence, with her podcast topping charts in 2024 per Podcast Insights, shows their reach only expands. Their $6 million empire, complete with a Brentwood mansion, a custom Ford F-150, and a sold-out Beautifully Broken clothing line, reflects discipline forged in chaos. Yet it's their heart, their refusal to let judgment or setbacks silence them, that truly shines. If their story moved you, drop a like to show some love. It means the world to creators like us. Share your thoughts in the comments. What part of Jelly Roll and Bunny's journey hit you hardest? Maybe it's his prison-to-stage leap, or her fearless honesty. And if you're as hooked as we are, hit that subscribe button to join us for more stories that dig deep into the lives of those who defy the odds. Up next, we're diving into another tale of triumph. Think high stakes, hidden truths, and a comeback that'll leave you speechless. Stay tuned because these stories only get wilder. Jelly Roll and Bunny XO aren't just a couple, they're a movement, a reminder that no matter how far you've fallen, you can rise. From jail cells to Grammy nominations, from health scares to sold-out shows, they've turned pain into purpose, proving that the greatest battles forge the brightest stars. As they step into 2025 with new music, tours, and a mission to heal, one truth stands tall. Their story isn't over. It's just getting louder. So here's the question that lingers. When the world bets against you, how loud will your comeback roar?